Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Hunter McCann.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Radio. Ronnie Rance alongside the gang, Hunter McCann and TK over here at Bruley Walk-Ons. Our favorite walk-ons, man, and all of the company. I mean, right across the Mississippi River Bridge, probably as the crow flies, just right across from Tiger Stadium. But the reality is that we're about a 15-minute drive max from really downtown Baton Rouge, Pete Goldsby Field, home of the Rougarou. You can be at the Bruley Walk-Ons in 15 minutes, and they have such great food and great service. They're open 7 days a week. Doors open at 11 a.m. Where else can you eat? And we're gonna have to, now that we're streaming, and we'll get to that in a minute, we're gonna have to show people the mural. All right, where else can you eat in the dining room? And on one end, you've got a signed Alex Bregman mural that, I don't know, what is it, 6 feet tall, 7, 8 feet tall, the mural. Yeah. And on the other end, a Ron Rance signed mural.
I always request in on the other side of the restaurant when I come in.
Well, and this is the only walk-ons in America that has that feature.
Yeah, and they put me kind of way in the corner as far as you can, almost by the kitchen. But that's fine. Hey, I don't see Buzzy Heidel up here.
Buzzy Heidel, no Joel Davis.
That's right.
I mean, no
definitely
Derry,
not me and you.
No Derry Beckwith. I mean, no Skip Bertman for that matter.
Oh wow, he's got to be. He's here somewhere.
No, he's not. I see Bregman. I see Lionel Turner, football guy, national champion.
Well, we'll talk a little bit today about, of course, the Masters is going on. A lot of Masters talk today. We're going to hear from Chris Bergstaller, the pro over at the Island Golf and Country Club. He'll join us at about 11:45 in hour number 2, and we'll get his take on the Masters and what's going on so far, and then tell us about what's going on the island. Today's a great golf weather day if you're doing that.
Randy Jones, who came to see us when we were at BRQ a couple of weeks ago, just put up a post. Good morning, Jumbo, TK, and Hunter. First time I've seen this stream. Tell him why it's the first time he's seen it.
It's because today's the first day. Hey, took us a while to get with 2026, but we're here now. So we're excited about it. We'll be sharing it on more platforms, and of course, every Saturday morning now you'll have a chance to not only listen on ESPN Radio, Lake Charles, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge, but also you'll be able to follow us. If you go to Sports Shorts, it's the little on Facebook. You can give us a follow, the little white circle with the red writing that says Sports Shorts. We say that because there's a couple others that were old and out there that aren't affiliated, but go to Sports Shorts and give us a follow. You can get notifications. Also on YouTube, Sports Shorts are hosted by Ronnie Rance. Give us a like, subscribe on there, and you'll get the notifications every Saturday morning from 10 to noon, wherever we're broadcasting the show. And like we said, today we're over at the Bruley Walk-Ons. LSU baseball last night for the Tiger fans out there. LSU 6-6 going into the weekend, taking on an Ole Miss team that was 5-7, and the Ole Miss Rebels last week won 2 out of 3 on the road against the Florida Gators. Last night, it was a 3-3 ball game into the 8th inning, and in the bottom of the 8th, Ole Miss scored 3. They ended up winning 6-3 in that ball game. Both teams had 9 hits. I think Ole Miss had 2 errors. How many errors did LSU have?
Ole Miss had 3 errors. LSU had 1.
Okay, 3 errors for Ole Miss, 1 for the Tigers. Kason Evans kind of did what Kason Evans does. He ended up with 6 innings, 3 earned runs. That's a 4.5 ERA if you're trying to equate to what that's like. It's a 4.5 earned run average. He had 9 punch outs, which is very good. He only had 2 walks, which is very good. Bar is very high in the SEC on Friday nights. It's not fair maybe, but it's high. And you're facing other teams' best, other teams' bullpens that are fully rested. And they're traditionally low-scoring games. A 4.5 ERA with Kason Evans stuff is really good on Sunday. And it's probably okay on Saturday. It's just not going to win you games consistently on Friday. He came into the game, I think, with an ERA around 5, and he kind of did what he did. And he's got dominant stuff. He's going to pitch in the big leagues, et cetera, but you have to be so good on Friday nights, especially on the road. And LSU had, again, opportunities, left runners on base, didn't get them in, only scored 3 runs. That wasn't enough to win.
No, it got started real good with Jake Brown, 2-run homer in the first and everything. Felt like the Tigers had some juice, the momentum going into the rest of the game, but the timely hitting with this team, it's just, unfortunately, we could sit here and say this is not a bad baseball team, but they're not a great baseball team. Well, they're not even really good. They're just mediocre.
It goes back to something Ronnie and I have said for months on Sports Shorts Monday and Friday. Inconsistent. And the inconsistent is not just from Tuesday to Friday. It's from the second inning to the fourth inning.
And like you mentioned, Casey Evans wasn't bad, wasn't great either. It put you in a situation where you felt like you could win the game with this performance, but it would require, like I said, timely hitting. And when LSU had runners in scoring position, they could not get a hit last night. And it wasn't just last night. It's been a consistent theme throughout the season where when the bats finally do come alive, they're just not able to string together enough hits to get runners across home plate. They still matched Ole Miss's 9 hits last night, but still 3 less runs, even though Ole Miss had 2 more errors. They weren't able to capitalize on those mistakes because this is just not a great baseball team, unfortunately.
Last night, Casey Evans, LSU starter, as we mentioned, threw 107 pitches, so he did his job from that perspective. He ate up 6 innings. And then Zach Cowan, who, again, has looked really good at times and not really good at times. Zach Cowan. Coin flip reliever, which that was not the case a year ago. Last year, for 3/4 of the season, he was as good as anybody in America. Had a little bump for about 3 weeks or so towards the end, and then had one good performance in Omaha to help him win the national championship. Well, last night, Zach Cowan comes out of the bullpen in a 3-3 and a 3-2 ball game. At the time, actually had the lead, and in 1 2/3 innings, he gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, only one of them earned. Didn't get had an error. No walks, 1 strikeout through 32 pitches. So he leaves, and then Connor Bench throws the 1 batter, strikes him out, and LSU finds themselves down 6-3 going into the 9th and didn't make it happen. Some highlights offensively. Mason Braun, he's really last couple games playing first base, and he went 3 for 4 last night. And so there's a freshman that going into the season, there was a lot said about him. I mean, Jay Johnson raved about Mason Braun, the young man from Indiana, raved about him. And now it's starting to come to fruition. They wanted to try to change it up. Zach York not getting it done defensively at first base, offensively just meh. And so they're giving the young stud an opportunity. And so far through 2 games, he's done a nice job. And then Omar Cerner played. That was a good sign. Remember, he didn't play Tuesday because of a concussion that he had on Sunday, where there was a collision at the plate in Tennessee. He goes 2 for 4. And so the two kind of star freshmen go 5 for 8 in that ball game.
Yeah, and that's the bright spot, right? You have a lot of young talent doing, better than expected, but the guys that had high expectations going into the season, the Derek Curiels, the Stephen Milums, that they're not being as consistent as they were as a championship program last season, and that's really what's hurting this team, is that the only guy that's consistently getting hits, it seems, week in and week out, is still Jake Brown, somebody that started the year hot and really hasn't cooled down that much.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's the guy, and, Curiel, everybody's been inconsistent. They've had a great weekend, they've had a great night. And then all of a sudden, Dardar struck out, twice with the bases loaded last night. And he'd been hot, So, I mean, it's baseball.
It is.
I get that. But the inconsistency is magnified when you're playing in the SEC against Ole Miss, who threw their Friday guy who did a great job in spite of a couple of errors. But, I mean, hey, it's Dave Johnson said it in the postgame. He said, we're not playing consistent enough good baseball. And then the mental lapses, not touching second on the double play. I mean, the guy hadn't been on the field a whole lot, and he just meant to touch it, but he didn't. And the replay was clear. He didn't touch the second base bag.
LSU now 6-7 through 13 games. Ole Miss now 6-7 through 13 games. And look, LSU's the harder part of its season is coming up. And, yeah, they've got South Carolina at home first week of May, and that should be a series win. Maybe even you're probably going to have to sweep, too, a South Carolina team that's really struggled. But you're at Mississippi State. You're at Georgia. These are some of the best teams in the league. You're taking on Florida at home, who's got a really good starting rotation. So, The schedule will get difficult, and this is a crossroads series, I think, for the LSU Ole Miss, because both of these teams are very similar in their inconsistencies. You come out of this series with a win. Now, if you're Ole Miss, you've won 2 series in a row. If you're LSU, you've won 3 series in a row, and now you're looking at the second half of the SEC very differently. So today, William Schmidt, the Catholic High sophomore, will go on the bump. Tomorrow, Grant Fontenot, the young man from Lafayette High, who's kind of waited his turn. He's had a rocky career, whether it be at LSU or Texas, wherever, and now it seems that he has kind of figured it out a little bit. He's a big, strong 6'3" righty that throws the ball 95 to 99 miles an hour. So it's a major league arm. It's a major league body. Just the consistency and the not, what we've seen out of him is look great for 2 batters and then boom, fall off and walk the next 2. If he can be consistent and can just kind of do what he did last week, build on what he did last week in Tennessee, LSU may have found them something that they didn't think they had 2 months ago.
The Tennessee series and the way that it ended last week in dramatic fashion, we really could have been a spark to, catapult the team forward. But now you're off 2 losses after the midweek loss and it's underperformance against Ole Miss. But like you said, everything's still in front of this team. It's just that it's going to be an uphill battle with how much of an SEC gauntlet you got to go through in the back half of the season.
All right, we are over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons. Doors open at 11 o'clock. They're open 7 days a week. Stop on by. And, of course, great place to watch the game. What time's the game today?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, 4 p.m., LSU and Ole Miss, game 2 of the series. Let's talk a little Masters for a minute. Wow, it's got a little Louisiana flavor on that board, huh? I mean, Sam Burns was anywhere from plus 6,000 to plus 10,000 before the Masters to win it. But I think he was plus 3,000.
I saw him at 3,500.
Yeah. Okay. So plus 3,500 on Patrick Reed. But both of them have played fantastic. Patrick Reed goes -3 back-to-back days. Sam Burns throws a -5 and then goes -1. And now Rory McIlroy, we'll talk about that in a minute. But for Patrick Reed and Sam Burns, 2 Louisiana ties, obviously Patrick Reed went to University High right on the campus of LSU, and then Burns played at LSU from Shreveport, lives at Squire Creek now up around the Ruston area and Shudrit. But it's fun to watch now.
Yeah, well, with Sam Burns, you kind of had been waiting for him to take this step where he's been so dominant when he gets to the putting green. Like he putts probably better than 99% of the guys currently in the field. His iron play had been so poor leading up to the Masters, and years prior, he just had not been able to consistently get to the green in regulation to have a chance to make these putts for birdie. Hadn't been that way the last 2 days. He went on Friday, on Thursday, he went 16 for 18 greens in regulation. And I believe yesterday was 12 for 18 greens in regulation. So he's consistently finding ways to put himself in a great position to take advantage of his skill set on the green.
Yeah, well, and, Patrick Reed's short game and putting's outstanding. Burns, short game and putting. That's what you need at Augusta. Rory McIlroy, who through his career has had his lapses with putting, missing those little 4.5 footers or whatever. He's not missing anything now. He's hitting his irons pure. He's putting. He's putting in the right spot, which is important at Augusta. And he's got a 6-shot lead. The only way he doesn't win is if he backs up. He shoots 1 or 2 under today, he's going to be the leader going to the final round tomorrow. If he backs up and Reed or Burns or Justin Rose, don't count Rose out. He's at 5 under. And he
can't never count him up.
No, I mean, those 3 guys, you kind of think, hey, they've got a shot to do something, but they can't worry about McIlroy. They just got to go play their game. And if McIlroy comes back to the field, then it'll be a heck of a Sunday.
Moving over to McIlroy, like we said, he broke the record for the best score through 36 holes at the Masters. He's 12 under now with a 6-stroke lead. And, he looks as good as he did last year moving into that last round. Obviously before he had the slight collapse and got it done in the playoff against Justin Rose. But that must have been a huge monkey that he got off his back last year because he looks dominant right now.
Well, some other guys at 5 under, Shane Lowry. I mean, he's a champion. Fleetwood hasn't won a major, but he can get hot. A bunch of guys at 4 under, but they need McIlroy to come back. They're at 4 under, tied for 7th, but they're 8 shots back. Okay, so not only is it 8 shots, but there's a bunch of people in front of you. I think right now I go out on a limb. Either McIlroy, Burns, Reed, or Rose will win the Masters.
You know what? Who's not going to win? Who you and I talked about last week, and I unfortunately had trust in him with my hard-earned cash. Bryson DeChambeau, man.
How about Bryson DeChambeau on 18, on hole number 18?
He's 3 over going into hole 18.
He is in the 2 days that he played 18, round 1 and round 2, +4. He triple bogeyed to eliminate himself from the didn't make the cut, and then on Thursday he bogeyed the hole as well. He had a triple bogey in each of his 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, that is unbelievable at that level for those kind of golf.
They both involved his inability to get out of a bunker.
He left that in the bunker. I mean, that's like what we do.
Yeah.
We didn't get it out of the bunker. Then the next one, you usually hit a good shot. He did.
On Thursday, it took him 3 strokes to get out of the bunker on 11, which is why he tripled. And then yesterday, like I said, going into 18, he's 3 over. The cut line is projected to be somewhere about +4, which it ended up being. All he has to do is at worst bogey the hole, just like he did yesterday on Thursday.
Amazing.
Just bogey the hole. His shot off the tee box goes into the woods. He knocks it into the bunker. It takes him 2 strokes to get out of the bunker, and then it falls off the false front, rolls back into the fairway. He's got a chip back on, then he 2 putts for triple bogey.
One thing we got to mention too, former McNeese golfer Bob McIntyre. They call him Bob Mac out
He
there.
had the best tirade of anybody.
Well, he makes a 9 on the 15th hole.
He let the hole know about it.
He flips the bird, and the Masters people don't like that.
Oh,
They
no.
got rid of who's the announcer they got rid of because he said bikini. Gary McCord.
Mhm.
Okay, he never announced since. Now and then.
So that was on Thursday when
He
McIntyre
doubled
had a
down
tirade.
yesterday after he missed the cut again. He might not get invited back to Augusta.
I was really surprised with the double down because I was like, man, I understand how the
I thought
emotions
the
go.
statement was coming out.
Yeah.
I got caught up.
He said, screw all of y'all.
I wasn't happy. He said, screw everybody. McNeese golfer.
Right. Well, he's from Scotland. So
Well,
he's
but he
got that
played in
Scottish
Lake
temper.
Charles.
But no, that was pretty cool there. So much more to talk about when it comes to the Masters. The big boys get underway. Let's see, when does
They get underway today at 12:50, I believe.
Yeah, Patrick Reed and Sam Burns are not in the same group. McIlroy and Burns are in the same group.
10 minutes.
They are at 1:50 p.m. They will tee
I believe
off.
that's Eastern, just so you
No,
know.
it's Central.
And
150 Central.
Okay.
And Patrick Reed is 139. So right
The
before him,
Masters app has
he is
it.
paired with Justin Rose. So pretty good,
Hey.
pretty good groups to watch right
Do you
there.
think they all took their River of Life capsules this morning?
I
You're
tell
gonna
you what.
need it.
Have you ever been, Tommy, to
No.
the Masters? Okay, you need to go quickly
Okay,
before you.
I got riverlifecapsules.com up on the screen, so
Well,
tell them about
Well, but you need to go before you get too old because of the hills. No, just because of the walking, right? And
it. I got new knees.
Yeah, he's good now.
yeah,
He's got the
well,
new knees.
you need to hurry up and go before you hit the big 7-0. But the riveroflifecapsules.com, if you use them, it will help you walking around Augusta, because the thing you don't see on television, you just can't get that elevation change. It's not obvious, right? I mean, they tell you about it. You can kind of see it's a little hilly. You have no idea on some of those holes, particularly like number 10 where Buzzy Heidel is. Buzzy Heidel's down in the fairway. He's usually on, they move him around a little bit on that course, but generally he's on the left side of the fairway where the trees are. But I mean, it's downhill.
It looks downhill. I can only imagine how downhill it actually
very
is.
downhill. And look, walking up 18, you need a little River of Life capsules. It helps with inflammation. It helps with arthritis pain. If you got achy back or joints of any kind, if you're that guy that when he gets up from watching the Masters to go get a cold beer out of the fridge and you make this noise like you're hurting, stand up and you're and you're not 97 where it's okay to have make that noise. You need some River of Life capsules. So go check it out. riveroflifecapsules.com. Give the folks over there a call and they can walk you through it if you got questions about it, or just order a bottle. It's less than $40. Get a bottle. Take 1 or 2 a day. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It will help you. It'll help with that inflammation, help with that pain. riveroflifecapsules.com. We're over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons. They are getting moments away, about a half hour or so from the 11 o'clock. Their doors will open. Fantastic lunch. Great place to watch the Masters. Great place to watch college baseball. Will be on all the big TVs. Of course, LSU today, 4 o'clock in Bruley. We're just 15 minutes from Pete Goolsbee Field, the home of the Rougarou, in downtown Baton Rouge, right across the Mississippi River Bridge. Bam, you're at the Bruley Walk-Ons. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts on the ESPN radio in Lafayette, Lake Charles, and Baton Rouge. Back, everyone. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan, Hunter McCann, and we are over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons. And it just, like I said, about 15 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge. And I get Tommy gets the all the time. Yeah. You get the fried shrimp. He gets fried. You get the blackened.
Yeah, blackened chicken and the blackened fish. Both of them are delicious here. They have so many good. You know what else is really underrated that I get sometimes around as a little treat? They got the buffalo chicken sandwich here, okay?
I haven't done that yet.
Really good, but it's huge. It's 2 giant chicken breasts on one bun. So what I usually do is I order a separate bun on the side, move that chicken breast over to the other, and I take that home. I eat that for the next day. Get it for like $15, $16. You get 2 sandwiches. So it's delicious.
Ronnie, I posted if someone out there watching has a question, post it in the comments section, and we'll try to give it an answer. If it's a dumb question, we'll ignore it. Okay, quite simply put. So if you put up a dumb question, don't look for it on the picture.
All right. So out of Burns and Reed, out of these two golfers that we care about as Louisiana golfers, I mean, look, Sam Burns is, if all goes according to a plan with his career, he may push David Toms one day for best Louisiana golfer of all time. Patrick Reed, also another guy who, not the most warm and fuzzy guy in the world, but he's a assassin out on a golf course and care what anybody thinks. Been on the Live Tour, wears the all black, like he likes being the villain. But of course, he's a Masters champion and he's a Ryder Cup legend.
Yep.
Who do you think, if you have to pick one of those two to finish ahead of the other? We got 2 rounds to go. Who are you going with, Tommy?
Reed, because he's won them.
Because of the experience.
He's won the Masters. And he seems, not that I'm saying Sam Burns is flappable or could get, but Reed seems less likely to get flappable. But,
well, he does have more experience.
If all of a sudden he makes a double bogey, I think he will be able to turn the page and get to the next hole. Burns might be, oh my God, I'm losing my chance to maybe be this. But again, so between the two guys, I think Reed will finish ahead of Burns by the time we get to tomorrow evening.
I think you have to say Reed in the way the question's situated, just like you say, experience sake. But I think Sam Burns has the higher ceiling. If he really able is to consistently play like he did Thursday and Friday and doesn't waver, Sam Burns. I just think that he'll have the opportunities to make those putts. Even though Reed is also, like you said, great short game when he gets close to the green and on the green and able to put himself in great. But Burns is another step. He's able to drain those 20-foot putts, reading those greens at Augusta that you shouldn't be able to make. But for experience sake, you got to think Patrick Reed ends up ahead of Burns.
Ronnie, I'm going to give Hunter the same question you gave me on Sports Shorts Friday. Hunter, if you're on the 18th tee, you have a 6-shot lead at Augusta, and you're paired with Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy on the 18th. Can you get the win?
No.
You got a 6-shot lead.
6-shot lead on the 18th.
I could not.
Well, I think Ronnie and I are better golfers than you.
Yes.
Although I've never seen you hit a golf ball. I'm just going by that. I think I could hang on because I would hit a wedge. And if I get on a green, and now there's another one.
I've thought about this, Tommy, and I just want to say
crazy.
That from my perspective, if I'm being totally honest, the only thing I can compare it to, there's really like 3 moments in my life on the golf course where on 18 or 1, just where I felt pressure, because I'm not a big gambler when it comes to the golf course, because I'm not a good enough golfer to be a good gambler. Right? I'm usually the C or D player on a group as opposed to the A or B. But during COVID, when my golf game became as good as it possibly has ever been in my life, and went from a 20 handicap to like a 13 at the time during COVID, because I was playing so much that year, we went to TPC, and it was Buzzy Heidel was there. He was in my cart, and then Dirk Lockhart and Chris Husser were the guys we played with. Dirk owns Greystone Country Club, and Chris Husser's a really good pool player and golfer. But Husser's the reverse sandbagger. You know what I mean by that? That means that a sandbagger is somebody who says, I'm a 5 handicap, but he's really a scratch, right? But Husser's got a big ego, so he's gonna say he's a +2 when he should be a -2, right? He hurts himself. So anyway, he's at the time almost a +1, so he's an above scratch on the Gin app, and I am like 13 or so. So I'm getting a ton of strokes from him. I end up beating him head up. I shoot an 80. He shoots an 82. Won a bunch of money that day. That was nice. But here's the pressure that I was talking about. On 18, all I have to do is par the hole to shoot 79. I've never broken 80 in my life. Still, to this day, I've never broken 80 in my life. And I turned to Buzzy Heido when I realized this. I'm on the 18 tee, and I go, Buzz, do you know that if I just par this hole, I'm going to shoot 79?
You were screwed at that
point. And
point.
I proceeded to almost swing and miss the ball. Dribbled it about 50 yards off the tee to the left. Now, I ended up hitting a great second shot and ended up bogeying the hole. Had a chance at somebody. But my point is that I felt like I thought I started in my head, and I'm like, all I got to do is just nice and easy, and then I almost swung and missed it. And there was nobody nobody there.
Yeah.
We're not talking about at the 18th hole at the Masters where you got thousands of people. This narrow window between the two trees, which I've stood there and seen it. It's a tight window. And I honestly think I'm going to shank it off somehow off the tee box. I'm going to try to get it. I think I'm going to shoot a 10 or 11.
See, I answered it that I think I could hang on because if I had a 6-shot lead, that meant I was playing pretty good.
Right.
Leading up to that.
But
But
the
now I got
pressure,
I think the hands get shaken and the things get
I,
going.
the old Sherwood Forest Country Club. I'm on the 18th tee, 2 under par for the day. An easy par 5 reachable, and if I can birdie it, I'm shooting 69. Okay, I hit a good drive. Second shot, I block it into a bunker. Easily, I mean, with an iron, reaching that old. For those that remember, Sherwood Forest Country Club, 18 was a par 5, straight up, and then it took a left over the big ditch. I put it in the bunker, then I got it out of the bunker, but by like 6 inches, and then I made a bogey. Okay, no, I made a par, so I shot 70 instead of 69.
That's still amazing. But
let me tell you this.
And I've shot 72 a bunch of times, but I've never.
and my other good thing I was going to say, I played at the old course in Scotland a couple times, and standing on that tee box, there was a group of 16 of us with their caddies. So that's 32 people. Plus, there's usually any time from 20 to 100 fans just standing around watching because it's a famous course, a lot of tourists. So there's 100 people watching me. You know, I'm not a good golfer. This is 8 years ago, and I ended up piping one right down the middle. So I actually had a good moment. But the nerves are real.
No,
and I think if an average golfer that's out there listening, just an average golfer, if he's on 18, has to shoot, say, a 10, because they're going to shoot a 4, they're going to par. I think the average golfer chokes.
Oh, I think 100% the average golfer chokes. For me in particular, I may hit a decent drive. I usually can drive pretty well. Can I make it between that narrow fairway? I have no idea. Doesn't matter though, because after that, I'm topping every ball
You're going
down
uphill.
there. Yeah,
uphill.
the nerves are shaky. I'm pulling out the irons at the top.
Take a break. Catch your breath.
TK, you're talking about shooting, 72. I've never broken 90. I'm not shooting a 10 on this whole. Not a chance.
No, you're probably not.
No, I'm just not.
The average golfer, they say, is a 14 handicap, which I think is a little high, a little low. I mean, I think the average golfer is closer to about an 18 handicap.
18 to 20.
As far as I'm talking about average. I mean,
most golfers don't break 90.
I'm talking about the guys that are playing public courses, private courses, you name it. I think the average person that gets in a golf cart, pays an entry fee, is more like an 18 than a 14.
Well, yeah, and if they play true golf, there's no way they break it. Night, play it down, play the back tees. No gimme putts. 95% of people can't break 90. We got Joel coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. We got Joel coming up. By the way, we haven't even really delved deep into Rory McIlroy. What he's doing is unbelievable. We'll talk to Chris Bergstaller in the second hour. He's the pro over at the Island Golf and Country Club, the home of the Baton Rouge Rougarou Golf Celebrity Golf Classic, May 18th. We'll be over there, and he's going to talk to. He's been coaching and working in amateur golf. He's very familiar with Patrick Reed and Sam Burns and all these guys. We're going to talk to him, and we'll ask him that question. By the way, if he thinks an average golfer could close out with a 6-stroke lead on 18 against McIlroy.
It's a great question, but
all right. That's we'll take a timeout. We're over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons, the home of the best walk-ons in the whole chain. We will take a break. When we come back, Joel Davis will join us live from Wooden Haven Furniture Store in Baton Rouge. We'll talk to JD the Hog. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will continue right after this. everyone. Ronnie Rance here with you over at Woodenhaven Furniture Company. Excuse me, at Walk-Ons in Bruley, chasing Joel Davis, who's over at Woodenhaven Furniture Company. We're still tracking him down. I don't know if he's lifting a sofa into someone's truck or what right now.
Duck.
By the way, we'll patch Joel in when we get him. But I saw on his Facebook he made a post yesterday where he met Marshall Faulk at the LSU coaches, high school coaches convention that they do every year, clinic over there. They get coaches, usually Saints and LSU and all kinds of guest speakers to talk and all that. It's a great event. Red Zone Fundraising was there, had a big table and marketed with a lot of their coaches they work with around the state. And there was a picture of Roger Harrington and Joel Davis, 2 Red Zone reps who've been around forever and do great jobs, with Marshall Faulk, who's got his Southern University polo on. We'll talk plenty more about Marshall Faulk and Southern University and all that when we get closer to football season. But I can tell you that what I'm hearing from people that are covering Southern and know what's going on over there, that it is a different world with that organization, with how just everything is run. And Hunter, you're hearing good things from WBRZ's standpoint as far as covering probably the professionalism and how
it's a tighter ship is the best way to kind of describe, where LSU is very structured, especially in their media and everything like that, of how things are run,
timelines, and
correct,
access, and all that.
Everything for Southern was a little bit flimsy,
right.
Not,
just loose.
Yeah, but now it's a real tight ship. Marshall Faulk, he doesn't have a ton of head coaching experience, obviously, but he's got a lot of discipline and expects a lot out of his guys, expects a lot out of Southern to be able to accommodate what he wants to do. And through 2.5 months now of him being on the job, it's felt like a whole different universe. And he seems very bought into this opportunity, bought into the community. He was at Rotary Club this week talking about what he wants to do on and off the field, and that his job number one is to coach these kids, of course, but he wants to not only coach them on the field, but off the field, into being great young men and being able to develop them and into being able to be leaders in this community.
Well, if Faulk's from New Orleans, okay, he was recruited by LSU, but they wanted to make him a defensive back. He wanted to be a running back. Okay, we can leave that story alone. But he's a Hall of Famer. And these Southern football players and the people in the Southern football program, the managers, the trainers, the equipment guys and girls, whatever, they know he's a Hall of Famer. Okay, he's one of the greatest to do it. The elite of the elite. He demands respect before he said hello, good morning. And I think that matters to these kids. Many of them didn't see him play, couldn't tell you what number he wore, whatever, but he's a Hall of Famer, and they know that, and he was one of the greatest running backs ever.
Well, they don't know he's a Hall of Famer. They have to Google it to know he's a Hall of Famer.
Word got around the locker room pretty quick.
Yeah, so Marshall Faulk, it's well documented, right? His story out of New where, people, when he went to San Diego State and he did what he did, and that was during the dark ages of LSU football, the Curly Hallman era. And, people are going, how the heck did this guy get out of the state? How did he go to San Diego State? And like a lot of places, they weren't talking to him about being a running back, talking to him about being a DB, and he wanted to be a running back. And San Diego State, I think, was one of only 2 schools that were kind of going to let him have that opportunity. And so they get him, and the rest is history. My storyline with Marshall Faulk was when he was with the Rams. He was playing in the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. They beat the Titans. He would play with Warner and was the greatest show on turf and all that. And he's playing running back. That was the game where they came up 1.5 yards short. The receiver for the Titans catches it. Gets tackled at the 1 and they lose the game. Well, I was working the sidelines for that championship for the Super Bowl, and I was with Leslie Visser. I was her assistant. She was assigned to the NFC side of the field. There was another reporter assigned to the AFC side of the field. I think it was ABC was doing the Super Bowl, and we were working for ABC. And my job during the game was, if a player got nicked or hurt or any kind of thing going on the Rams sideline, I'd go talk to the team doctor or the spokesman, like the PR person, to be like, hey, what do we got on 72? He's slight ankle sprain. He's out or he's in or whatever the case may be. And then I'd go tell Leslie, and she would report it. Well, at the end of the game, the producer says, hey, if the Rams win the game like they expected, we want you to grab Marshall Faulk. We want to interview him on the field as soon as the game ends. So I'm standing next to Marshall Faulk, right? And he's watching the final play intently because this is it. We're either going to win the Super Bowl or I don't remember if they were down and the Titans were trying to tie it or go ahead. I don't remember what the score ended up being, but the final play, like if they don't score a touchdown, it's over, Rams win. And I'm standing next to Marshall Faulk. He doesn't even know I'm there, right? I'm literally like 2 feet to the right of him, and he's looking the other way, watching the play. And as soon as the play ends, he sprints onto the field, kind of high stepping, celebrating, right? Running towards midfield to kind of celebrate. And they say, go, you got to get him. So my big 300 plus, you know what, at the time goes running after him. I go running after him, and I like horse collar him. I mean, I grab him, and look, they're coming out with the string. You know how you've always seen on TV that all the guards come out, and they've got that string, and they're trying to herd everybody into the string. And if you're not inside the string, you can't get inside the string and all this stuff. And I literally I grab him by his neck, the back of his pads, and I'm like, Marshall, Leslie's got to interview you. ABC, we got to interview you. And he wasn't necessarily thrilled, but he did it. And I reminded him of that story when I saw him a few months ago. And I was at the high school football state championships in the Dome. And, of course, he acted like he remembered. I'm sure he didn't. But I remembered because I'm thinking, I got to go chase this guy down, this Hall of Fame. And he's not going to probably want to do this, but I have to, right?
It's your job.
It's my job. And so, man, I luckily I was a little bigger than him by about 100 pounds, and I just held on for dear life.
I've heard a lot of Ronnie stories. I hadn't heard that.
No, that's great.
That's A+.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew you worked for Leslie Visser. I knew you went to many Super Bowls. I'm aware of all that. But I never heard that story. And now he's coaching for the Southern Jaguars. That's cool.
And they're hoping Folk will be their solution to a turnaround in the SWAC. That remember they had only won one game under Terrence Graves before he got fired, and Fred McNair took over as the interim, and then ended off the season with a 1-point victory to Grambling. So and that's the big one they want to win, of course. And so you end on a good note. You go ahead and hire the Hall of Famer in Folk, and now it's off to the races over at Southern to see if they can get their football team back.
They're hoping he'll do what Primetime did. They're hoping to be that juice like Deion. Now, he's not the personality Deion is. He's not gonna, he's not. He doesn't have the mic and the cachet and the celebrity that Primetime has. But he brings credibility. I mean, you're a player over there. You're not going to question anything he tells you, right? I mean, unless you're just a bad attitude kid, because he's going to know better than everybody. And he's got instant credibility. He looks great, right? He looks like he go out and get you 1,000 yards right now. But everybody's looking for that, right? They're looking for that, especially a lot of the HBCUs have been going and dipping into that NFL waters.
Eddie
right?
George, others.
They're trying to say, hey, can we get that lightning in a bottle like Jackson State had?
Yeah.
And I can't say that that's necessarily going to be the case for everybody, but I think at Southern University, if he can be the difference maker for 4 or 5 players a year, that you wouldn't have gotten, but because you have Marshall Faulk, you're going to get them.
Make all the difference.
That can make a lot of difference. If you get 4 or 5 of the right players, that's all you need to really make a difference, I think, in that league.
Well, and Southern's got a great fan base, the Jag Nation. I mean, they're going to support Marshall Faulk. They're going to support this team, and everybody loves a winner. If he can win 8, 9, 10 games and then improve on that after year one, the Jag Nation's going to be a happy bunch.
We're over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons, just like I said, right across the Mississippi River Bridge from downtown Baton Rouge. The Bruley Walk-Ons, or TK, what are you getting today? What do you think you're going to go with?
I'm debating. We have a meeting coming up later. I may have to get the hamburger to go as well.
Okay. All right. Speaking of our meeting, we'll be over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I don't know if you get the hamburger here. Might want to get the hamburger at Tremonti's.
Okay, I'll go fried shrimp.
Yeah, go fried shrimp. There you go. Yeah, Mike and them have such great hamburgers, and of course we'll sell them at the Baton Rouge Rougarou games this year. LSU baseball today at 4:00. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little SEC baseball. Take you around the horn. By the way, Todd Walker in studio this morning, and getting ready for the Florida-Georgia game. They're talking about last night. Florida beat Georgia 8-2, and Georgia was ranked 4th in the country, Florida unranked, but this is a Florida team that, flip a coin. And I feel like there's about 6 teams in the SEC,
at least.
LSU being one of them, Ole Miss being one of them. They can beat anybody, can lose to anybody, But it wouldn't surprise me if any of them won a national championship. And Florida is one of those teams. They go on the road to Arkansas, beat Arkansas, sweep them, come home, lose 2 out of 3 to Ole Miss, then go beat Georgia, last night on the road. I mean, and they have a great rotation.
Whoever gets it together late May could possibly win the whole thing. Go back to the Ole Miss story in 22.
Welcome back to SEC baseball, man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting and fun. I just don't know how much fun the LSU fans are going to have.
Yeah, I mean, because it unless LSU really rights the ship, they're going to have to go on the road to win the championship, meaning they're going to have to play a regional on the road. If all goes chalk, you'd have to win a super regional on the road. That is very hard to do. And
then you go to Baton Rouge North at that, and then you feel a little better.
But if you get to Omaha, if LSU gets to Omaha, then those 10,000 fans a game that you have at the beginning, which ramp up to 20,000 at the end, makes a difference. We'll take a break. Be back with more Sports Shorts presented by the Bruley Walk-Ons right after this. Here alongside Hunter McCann and Tommy Chrysan on Sports Shorts. We'll be with you till noon today on ESPN Radio, Lake Charles, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge. Absolutely Chamber of Commerce Day, man. So get out there and do something. Go play a little golf. Go out, lay out by the pool. There's Hogs for a Cause going on down in New Orleans. You got college baseball games. I know the McNeese State Cowboys have a home series going on this weekend, and so a lot to go for. Let's take you around. Let's tell you a little bit about the SEC as far as the standings go. Georgia is 10-3. They are in first place. Texas 9-4. And LSU will play in Athens against Georgia. They don't have to play Texas. That's nice. They will host Texas A&M, who's 8-5.
That's the next weekend.
And by the way, Texas A&M knocked off Texas last night in College Station. Not a warm and fuzzy homecoming for Jim Schlossnagle, the head coach at Texas. Remember, he took A&M to the finals, championship series, and then leaves 2 days later after the series is over to take the Texas job, their bitter rival. And that'd be like leaving Mississippi State to take the Ole Miss job, or leaving Auburn to take Alabama, or whatever the case may be, that kind of bitter rival. So needless to say, they let him hear it and let him have it yesterday. I've never seen a coaches meeting at home plate be so covered like that one. They had so many photographers and videographers and all around home plate. Everybody's yelling and screaming and booing or cheering or whatever the case may be. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. So Texas A&M, the Aggies, will be in Baton Rouge next week. Alabama still continues to be a nice story. They lost last night, but they're 8-5 on the season. Florida started to get it together now. They're 8-5 on the year as well. They were expected to be good. They got up to a little bit of a slow start to the season. Mississippi State has lost last night. They're now 7-6, but very dangerous, particularly at home. Auburn is 7-6. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams above 500 on the year. Vanderbilt, who LSU, of course, played, is 7-7. Kentucky, another LSU opponent, is 6-7. Ole Miss is 6-7. Arkansas, surprisingly, is 6-7. LSU is 6-7. The Tigers' other opponent, Oklahoma, is 6-8. Remember, the Tigers played them earlier this year. Tennessee is 5-8. South Carolina 4-10, and Missouri 3-11. So let's go ahead and and just tell you that it's kind of outside of really Georgia and Texas, who I think most prognosticators think are the two best teams. I mean, they've looked the part. Outside of that, Tommy, Texas A&M at 8-5, all the way really through LSU at 6-7. It's anybody's game anytime they play each other.
Yeah, and get hot. They all got rosters that are very good. They all got very good coaches. Can you get hot? Can you play consistent? We go back to that word and do what you got to do to win 2 out of 3 or get that sweep.
It's funny, though, because if you look at all these teams, their biggest issue is consistency. It just all the way across the board. Because, like you mentioned, they all have the pieces to do it. We've seen LSU play really good baseball. We've seen them play clean baseball. They just can't consistently do it to where every piece of your pitching, your defense, your offense is able to consistently put you in a position to win game in and game out.
All right, we'll go stop a little SEC baseball talk because we're going to bring in Joel Davis right now, who is. We can hear you, Joel. I don't know if you can you hear us now,
Joel?
Hey, bud, you can hear me?
I can hear you now. You got us?
I do, buddy.
All right, so Joel,
I'm sorry. I'm kind of eating a poo-poo sandwich over here, Ron.
Yeah, folks are used to that, Joel. They're used to tuning into this show, and you not necessarily joining us during the time slot that we have allotted for you. And then usually when we do catch up with you, it's like a chicken with their head cut off. So there's no difference here. So tell us why you're in a panic mode, Joel.
Well, I had literally 18 customers in here this morning right off the bat.
18.
I want to give a shout out to give a shout out to Zachary's defensive coordinator Matthew Zito for coming in here and spending a boatload of cash each at the Woodhaven Furniture Company. Appreciate you, Coach. Just furnishing that whole crib. Brand new house for Coach Zito. But anyway,
well, Coach Brewerton over there at Zachary pays really well for those defensive coordinators.
100%. And when you do such a great job, that's kind of what you get. But look, guys, I'm on the side of the building with my boys. I got a couple of guys that do deliveries for me. They're in a real bad mood, Ron. They're in a bad mood. We got a bolt that's just holding us back. Like we should have already been to the person's house and back. And I got this one bolt just ribbing me, Ron. rimming me, and I'm about to fix it. I'm finally about to fix it, and they're gonna be off and running.
I think you're using that analogy wrong, but we won't go there. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday. You posted a picture. I just want 30 quick seconds on it because we already talked about it. You met Marshall Faulk. You heard him talk. How impressed were you with him?
Dude, let me tell you something. Dream come true. Drill bolts, drill bits. They're in a blue box. Hey, okay, Marshall Faulk was obviously one of the speakers yesterday at the LSU football clinic for our Louisiana coaches. By the way, Lane Kiffin had a nice draw from Texas. A lot of Texas coaches came in. A lot of Mississippi coaches came in. I thought he had a really good draw in regards to just kind of pulling people in. So that's a great sign for the program. They want to kind of see what Lane Kiffin had to say. But also Marshall Faulk is part of that, right? When you have Marshall Faulk in the building, that's a big draw. So great job by LSU and their department getting some nice speakers in there. Blake Baker spoke. Obviously, Charlie Weiss Jr. spoke. All those guys kind of went through their philosophies. It was really interesting listening to those guys speak. But the one person that, look, I don't get starstruck very often, but Marshall Faulk's a legend, bro. Like, I mean, being a Saints fan and him being from New Orleans and watching him coming up, as a player out of New Orleans and then going to San Diego State because LSU wanted to turn him into a defensive back. All those things, we remember, right?
Right.
He's so humble. Like, he's so humble. It's as if he doesn't remember that we remember this stuff. Like, Marshall, we knew who you were in high school. We heard all about you. So when you come home, people know who you are, bro. Use that to your advantage. So humble, so awesome. He spoke to all these coaches and just had everybody's attention. And then afterwards, I was kind of shocked that not a lot of people were like gathering around him to speak to this guy. It's like, what, are you scared? So I said, I'm going to talk to Marshall Faulk. Left my booth and went and talked to Marshall Faulk. And I tell you what, dude, he is just so kind and so nice and gives you time. And the one thing that he said, the first question I asked him, I didn't talk about football. I just said, hey, dude, how hard was it playing against a team that I know you rooted for growing up as a kid? And he goes, it was hard. He said, but I had a job to do. And because you have a job to do, it makes it much easier, right? You focus on your job. But that's why he's a Hall of Famer. It's because he was able to focus on his job and do his job year after year, play after play for as long as he did. One of the greatest players in the history of the NFL at the running back position. He really was able to show what running backs can do in the passing game with the greatest show on turf, greatest offense ever. And, he's just humble. And that's what I enjoyed about talking to him yesterday. And I said, well, how hard was it playing against the Saints? He said, it was hard, but, you have a job to do. And at the end of the day, I'm a Saints fan. I'm still a Saints fan. Will always be a Saints fan. And, he had my heart when he said, I'm still a Saints fan, bro. So he's pulling for the who dat just like we are. And I really enjoyed talking to him about that.
Talking with Joel Davis, who was at the LSU football coaches clinic yesterday for the high school coaches. Lane Kiffin, what did you hear from him? Anything he say that resonated with you?
He really spoke about his philosophy, right? Just in general. And look, just like it was dad speak, bro. It was dad speak. And it was the same thing that you would hear from your dad. And what I mean by that is, like, okay, so if you want people to do something for you, then you need to be able to do it for yourself first, right? Like, you have to be able to live by your example. So if you want something, first surround yourself with good people. He talked about coaches. Look, you can't do it alone, and you can't start asking the kids to do something that the coaches aren't willing to do themselves. So start with your coaches, begin with your coaches, set a tone with your coaches. Then you go to the players. Then you go and ask the players to do the things that you want them to do because they see the people that are above them doing it. And that's critical to his success and to his philosophy, is making sure that his coaches are doing the exact same thing that he's asking the kids to do. Do your job, in other words.
Is that sort of your philosophy at the Woodenhaven Furniture Company, where you'll lift beds and sofas so that your employees will follow your lead?
100%, Ron. If you're not willing to do it, the work yourself, how can you ask other people to do the work, right? And I'm 100% driving screws and nails right now, Ron. Do you hear it? Do you hear it, Ron?
No. I don't. Did you ask Mark? Did you ask
Get a
Mark?
better battery.
There you
Go
go.
go open my truck
By the way,
and get
let's
that
just
badass
listen.
battery out the back of my truck. Just lift the tailgate and grab the badass battery. Sorry, Ron.
There you go.
We
No,
got some things
this is
going
great.
on here.
It's sort of like a live documentary, like a behind the scenes of furniture,
All
the
access.
furniture business,
All
all
access.
access Woodenhaven, right? They're only open 3 days a week, so you got to get it while you can.
Look, it's hard to do it when you got a couple of guys that are not in their best. They're not at their peak performance right now, Ron.
Did you
I
ask?
gotta go.
Did you ask Marshall Falk who they think or who he thinks the Saints should draft? Because Yahoo Sports has Carnell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State, and a lot of people have Carnell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State, going to the Saints. And I know you don't think they should take a wide receiver.
No, I don't. I think that the one guy that you got to focus on is Bain. Bain, I'll say it to the end of earth. Is Bain is the guy that we need to draft.
Well, let me. I was gonna say, let me give you a scenario, Joel, like we did last week. But in this case, let's say the Saints choose a Bain or choose somebody else with that number 8 pick that's not a wide receiver. The guy that's been linked to the Saints later in the draft, in either the second or the third round, is Chris Bell, the former wide receiver at Louisville that played with Tyler Shuck, who Shuck apparently is advocating for behind closed doors for the Saints to pick in the second or third round. The caveat is Bell tore his ACL in December, but doctors do expect that he will be back by training camp and be fully ready to go. It's a guy that it was projected to run in the 4.3s for a 40 if he was able to be healthy at the combine, and his draft stock plummeted because of that injury. What do you think about that pick in the second or third round?
Yeah, that's not the guy I want in the second round. I can assure you. I mean, look, I think Chris Bell's a good football player, but he's 22 years old, and as a 22-year-old player, I mean, you're playing against 17 and 18-year-olds. You should be good. You should be performing at a high level. What I want is a guy that's 18 years old, like a Jordan Tyson, that has been dominating at 18 years old, right? Who's dominating guys that are 20, 21, 22, 18. That's what I'm looking for that from that position. Here's ideal situation for Joel Davis. This is what I'd love to see happen, and whether it happens or not, I don't know. I would love to see us get Bain at 8, right? In some way, or Downs. Those are my two guys. It's Downs or Bain. I don't really want Downs at 8. If you can move back and get him at 12, that's even better. But at the end of the day, I know that that's not always the case. But here's the deal. If we can get Bain at 8 and find a way to get Casey Concepcion in the second, I don't think he'll be there. I think that you're probably going to have to get him in the late first round. Maybe move back in and get him. I think he would be perfect match with Chris Olave. I think that if I can come away with Casey Concepcion at the wide receiver position and Bain or Downs, I'm a very happy Saints fan.
By the way, Sports Illustrated, SI.com has the Saints taking Bain. Just at least you got somebody on your side on that.
It's all over the board, Ron. I mean, it's depending on what you look for, it's all over the board.
Yeah, this year's straight and narrow.
I mean, you got Tate. I've seen Tate. I've seen Lemon. If we pick Lemon at 8, I might throw something at the TV. I mean, that to me is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. A 5'11", a 4 foot. I mean, a 5'11". Now, look, he's a dominant player. There's no doubt about it. He's 195 pounds. Right, it's probably soaking wet. He doesn't get great separation. He's just fighting. He's a great fighter for the ball. So I love that about him, but I don't love him like that at 8. Right? I need a guy that separates at 8. I need a guy that's a difference maker at 8. So my thing is I see that in Casey Concepcion. He just has problems catching the football all the time. But that's a concentration thing that's been documented. If he can concentrate, then we're good there. Jordan Tyson, to me, is the number 1 wide receiver in the draft class, but we're worried about soft tissue issues, right? I mean, the Saints have proven last year that they can fix soft tissue issues. Chris Olave came into the New Orleans Saints organization with hamstring issues, lots of hamstring issues. Haven't heard much of that since he's been with the New Orleans Saints. So maybe we can fix that. Right? Jordan Tyson is the best wide receiver in the draft class. I'm not saying I'm going to be super stoked at 8 if we get him, but if we grab him at 8, that tells me a lot about what the New Orleans Saints see in him as well. So if we get Jordan Tyson at 8, I wouldn't want to go jump off a bridge. That's all I'm saying.
All right, there's Joel Davis. You go see him at Woodhaven Furniture Company. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off over on Government
you,
Street
guys.
in the heart of Mid-City. Have a great one, JD. We are
Appreciate it,
over
buddy.
here at the Woodhaven Furniture Company. Doors are open. Folks are piling in
We're
over
at
here.
Walk-Ons and Brewley.
I mean, we're at the. I keep saying the Woodhaven.
Yeah,
I'm giving
are
Joel
you
all these
going
free
there later?
plugs.
What?
I'm not. I need to go. I should give me something free. No, we're over at the Brewley Walk-Ons. Folks
Doors
are
are
piling in. It's 11 o'clock every day, 7 days a week. They open. And, of course, 4 o'clock today will be LSU baseball on all the big TVs all over the place. Of course, the Masters coverage is happening. We're watching Masters. Good game right now. Florida and Georgia is underway on the SEC network, if you want to give that a watch. Florida won game 1, and that's their 2 teams above 500. Florida's probably going to be ranked after this weekend. They had dropped out, but now they're 8-6 in league play, or 8-5 in league play. Georgia, of course, top the SEC, and both bitter rivals. Georgia comes in ranked 4th in the country. We'll take a break. Be back with more Sports George. Don't go anywhere.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
And welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance here with you over at the Brewley Walk-Ons, where we'll be here till noon today. Just one of the best walk-ons in the chain. Fantastic fried shrimp. I know we're going to get the blackened chicken. Also, the blackened redfish is so good. Drawing it right now, Hunter McKeon going to jump in. We've got Some Masters for you gamblers out there. The great thing about betting on golf is that once it starts, you can still keep betting.
Yes, you can.
Because the lines are going to change and fluctuate.
Get
and all
good
that.
value too.
So who do you like? And give me the lines on the top 3 guys in the event.
So I gave out picks on Wednesday, WBRZ.com. You can always get all my best bets throughout the week, but gave out picks Wednesday before the round started. I've picked the last 3 Masters winners. Picked John Rahm in 23, picked Scheffler in 24, and picked Rory last year. So trying to go for a 4-peat here and see if I can grab this one. I always pick 3 guys, Ronnie. I always pick 3 guys to win and like their value. Somebody who I really think is going to win, great chance and a long shot. My great chance was Bryson DeChambeau, so we could throw that opportunity out the gate. Didn't make the cut, unfortunately. The other 2 guys, I really and I still like them. They're in great positions, both 2 under right now. Xander Schauffele, you can get right now. He's plus 1,400. Excuse me. He is plus 4,500 right now because of the fact that Rory McIlroy has such a large lead in the Masters right now. Plus 4,500 for him. And then Jake Knapp was my long shot bet. He's also 2 under right now, but he's playing great golf to start the season. He's plus 12,500. So you're getting great value on both those guys. If you were picking since Wednesday, you want to double down. But here's my suggestion to you today. If Rory McIlroy keeps playing like he has been playing the last 2 days, he's going to go on and win this thing. And there's no value betting on Rory right now. He's minus 300 on most books. Most sports books, though, offer the opportunity to select a winner without Rory McIlroy in there. If you go and do that, you could grab Xander Schauffele for plus 1,600. You can grab Jake Knapp for plus 4,000, which means if they come in second place behind McIlroy, you're still going to cash. So I think they're going to both find themselves in the top 10, and I think it's great value in the way that both of them played the first 2 days. I'm going to still say and trust that they're going to get themselves back in the conversation. So take both Knapp and take both Schauffele without Rory McIlroy. Find that option on a sports book and bet them right now. And if you really want to get some great value as well, go ahead and throw some money on Patrick Reed or Sam Burns. You're probably going to be rooting for him anyway if you listen to the show. Might as well go throw $10 on them right now.
What are they?
Right now, Patrick Reed plus 1,800, Sam Burns plus 2,200. So $10 will win you 180 on Patrick. $10 win you 220 on Sam Burns.
What is it on Rory? I'm just curious.
Rory right now minus 300 right now. That's what I'm saying.
300 to win 100.
You got no value on doing it, and right now the way he's playing, it looks like he will. But Rory pre last year of winning the Masters,
largest lead ever after 2 rounds.
And as you said, these odds are all going to change after tonight.
Yeah,
you could look.
You could look again tonight, but once again, Rory before the last year of winning the Masters, completing the career Grand Slam, I would have 100% been so confident he's going to collapse today or Sunday and not win the Masters. However, that monkey that he got off his back last year must have been pretty big because he's looking dominant right now. But you can get all my best bets over at WBRZ.com. And remember, you got to protect your home and business this hurricane season, especially here in Louisiana. Stay powered on when they come in. Standby generator from Gage. They have generators that are in stock. They can be installed in just a few weeks. Gage has been in business since 1980, and they're the #1 Cummins dealer in the Gulf South. So contact Gage at 225-753-4243, or you can visit them online at gage.cloud.
All right, we'll take a break. Be back with more Sports Church live from the Bruley Walk-Ons right after this.
Sports Shorts Radio.
And welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons alongside Tommy Chrysan and Hunter McCann. By the way, baseball season, the weather is perfect today. This is golf weather, baseball weather, outdoor weather. Get out there. There's tons of festivals going on. But it's with baseball season right around the corner, we've got the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators and we've got the Baton Rouge Rougarou. And we've got season tickets on sale right now. It's the best value in the world. Go to brrougarou.com, go to gumbogators.com. You can get a general admission season ticket for only $100. And of course, this is only going to last right up until the start of the season. Once the first game happens, it goes away. And so you're going to save, like 75% on your season ticket. It's like a little over $2 $4 a ticket, excuse me. Is what it costs. A little over $4 a ticket. Tickets at the gate are $10. So, there's the savings right there. And how about this in Lake Charles? This is the Hunter McCann special. In Lake Charles, we have reserved seats, chair back behind home plate. You get your name on the seat. It's all you can eat food and drink.
Sold.
Including 2 adult beverages.
There we go.
Okay. And, it's a limited menu. It's got the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the popcorn, the chips, the
essentials,
the drinks.
though.
It's got, a cookie. It's got some peanuts in there. My point is all you can eat food and drink. And if you don't want to go wait in line, we'll have a Gator Girl server that will get you your food for you and bring it to you. So, you can't beat it. It's right there. It's a reserved seat. You pick your seat and go to gumbogators.com. We hope to see you at the ballpark. Both teams are shaping up real nice, and I expect that it's going to be quite the battle this year in the TCL. There's 8 teams in the Texas Collegiate League, 3 in Louisiana. Of course, Lafayette has the Acadiana Cane Cutters, who've been around for 16, 17 years. The Gumbo Gators are playing year 3 of their season in Lake Charles at McNeese State University. And for Baton Rouge, the defending TCL champs, they will play at Goldsby Field, which is really in great shape, and kind of BRCC and Breck put some money into it and kind of fixed up the field a lot over there. So just really looking forward to June 2nd is the start of the season.
Well, and you need to go get your tickets for the Baton Rouge Rougarou because Friday, June 5 is the home opener.
That's right.
And it's against the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. It's going to be a packed house. I don't know what
and
kind
fireworks.
What kind of fireworks?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of gear you're going to wear that night. Maybe the other inning you're going to have to do something or what?
Well,
I'm going to be in Rougarou gear.
Well, no, thanks to Jessica, I think it was it Christmas time or Christmas time? Yeah, I got a polo that has both logos on it, so that's probably what I'll wear. But I say this sincerely. Somebody said, "Well, who are you going to root for when the Rougarou play the Gumbo Gators?" And I would say the home team, whoever the home team is, because they play each other. Man. They play each other 12 times, 6 in Baton Rouge, 6 in Lake Charles. Whoever the home team is, that's who I'm pulling for. I want good weather, a big crowd, the whole 9 yards, and I want the home team to win. If that happens, they go 6-6 against each other. But it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we'll take a break. We've got to make up on a break. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts Live from the Bruley Walk-Ons right after this. alongside the gang, Tommy Krysan and Hunter McCann. Some big news in LSU basketball. We don't normally talk LSU men's basketball this time of the year, last few years, because it's been sad and not worth talking about. But some positive news, right? Will Wade being hired. That's got everyone fired up. They had nearly 1,000 people for his press conference. LSU's going to make a strong commitment, a damn strong commitment to in basketball.
Strong ass commitment.
And now the staff is coming together, and at least on paper, this is an impressive staff. The only question I have whenever you have 3 former head coaches as your assistant is who's going to do the dirty work, right? Because as head coaches, especially when you've been a head coach for a long time, all your assistants do all the stuff the head coach doesn't want to do. But if you got 4 head coaches, who's going to draw the short stick?
You got them 6 analysts that are sit right behind the team bench. Those are the guys going to do that work.
So Rick Stansberry, the longtime head coach at Mississippi State. Johnny Jones, the former LSU player and coach on a couple different stints, former head coach, assistant under Dale Brown. Of course, done a nice job the last, I think, 8 years.
8 years.
That's Texas Southern. He leaves that post to come be an assistant back here. And then Damon Stoudemire, who was a hell of a player, played 13 years in the NBA and was a great player, but a former Georgia Tech head coach. He's now here. So, I mean, the staff is pretty good.
I'm looking forward to seeing what type of recruits they're able to pull because of the experience they have now with this staff. And, talk about Johnny Jones making his return back after playing it for LSU. And then, his coaching stint here as a head coach and what he was so great. I mean, this is a long time ago, pre-NIL and pre-transfer portal, like the rules are set up now. But he was a hell of a recruiter down here to the boots. I mean, it's a great face to have return back to campus. And, he's got obviously a real love for this place. He was pretty excited returning yesterday, and a lot of chatter online with his return.
I always like Johnny Jones. I get along with numerous conversations. He's a guy that's got purple and gold in his blood, and I think that's important. But he's going to be able to help get players. He's been over in Houston at Texas Southern. I'm sure he knows all the coaches over there. They all know him. And, of course, the portal is going to be important, as always.
The thing that's interesting is about what's going on with LSU is we're hearing, depending on what camp you're in, you hear rumblings, right? As far as how the pie is going to be shared over there financially amongst the money that's paid out to the players. Right now, LSU baseball is severely underfunded compared to other top baseball programs, compared to South Carolina, who's second to last. By the way, South Carolina and Missouri playing each other, 2 worst teams in the league this weekend. So something's got to give, right? Somebody's going to get a couple wins. But you got South Carolina, who right now gets $2 million from their school this year. LSU baseball is $500,000-600,000. We're hearing Mississippi State's going to go $3+ million next year for Mississippi State baseball. A lot of schools like that, Mississippi State, South Carolina, they're saying, you know what? We know football. We can't really compete in football with Texas and Alabama and Georgia and LSU. So we're not going to fund to the level that they are football because it's going to make a difference, but it ain't going to make that much of a difference. But we do know, if you're South Carolina, that you can win a national championship in women's basketball. You know you can win a national championship in baseball. You've done it, okay? And so they are investing in the sports that they feel give them the best chance to succeed. LSU's in a pickle. They got a lot of sports where they can do that. They've won a national championship in baseball. They've won a national championship in women's basketball. They know they've been to Final Fours 3 times in basketball over the last 40 years. And they can probably do it again. Obviously, football's never going to be underfunded. The question is to what level football is going to be funded. Are you going to go 70% of the pot to football? Are you going to go 71, 75? What are you going to do? And then, oh, by the way, don't look now, but gymnastics has got 10,000 people in the PMAC. So you've got all these people saying we deserve more money, but you only got so much.
So, and on top of all that, this past year was the first year that they had the collective that were being distributed between the programs to be able to give to their athletes. That was the House versus NCAA that got settled last year, and then a come July of last year, that allowed for $20.5 million to be split up between all of their major programs, be able to give those money to athletes whatever way they see fit. The way that LSU split it up last year was 75% of that collective money went to football, 15% went to men's basketball, 5% went to women's, and then the other remaining 5% was split up between all the rest of the D1 programs. Your track and field, your baseball was included in that, gymnastics, anything else that they seem fit to be a part of that 5% collective, which is why LSU baseball was only getting a small chunk of change from that. That's a whole different matter from just the funding aspect of it, but that also is used as a recruitment tactic. It's the only way that the universities can directly pay their athletes, and that's become a big bargaining tool moving into the future for teams to be able to go, well, we're giving this amount of money and this percentage of it to the team to allow them to give you funds directly to your pocket as a player.
And I bring that up because there was an article on brobible.com. The headline says, this was on April 9th, top LSU baseball recruit decommits among growing concern of lacking NIL budget. Lawson McLeod, the right-hander, had been a part of the program's top-ranked recruiting class since 2024. The news comes amid fan-based concern over lacking NIL support for Coach Jay Johnson. He's a 6'6" right-hander, mid-90s fastball, intimidating presence on the mound, et cetera, et cetera. And so the Virginia native is one of the big-time prize recruits. Here's the thing, and I said this, and a couple of my friends have laughed at me. Jay Johnson's not going anywhere. Let me tell you something. Jay Johnson loves LSU. Grew up with the Tiger hat. We've heard the story. Junior high, wearing the LSU hat. He's the only kid in his town in California and wearing an LSU hat. He knows the history of the program. He loves Skip Burtman. He goes by and visits with them on Mondays and yada, yada, yada. What Jay Johnson doesn't like to do is what most coaches don't like to do, and that is to have to constantly be going and asking for money, constantly be going to lunches and shaking hands and going and giving speeches and all that to get the handshakes for the payroll to pay your players. That gets old. If he has the opportunity one day to go to a Texas A&M or some other big-time SEC program where they say, Coach, you don't need to worry about all that fundraising stuff. Here's a check for $4 million for you. We're going to fund your program to $4 million for your baseball program. We just want you to coach and recruit. You're going to have more money than 80% of the teams, 90% of the teams in the league. We got you, Coach. Well, let me tell you something. Starkville looks pretty good at that point, right?
I'm not saying Jay's going anywhere after this year or a couple of years, wherever it may be. But if I'm Jay Johnson, I sure as hell am holding LSU's feet to the fire over it.
But how? Because the pie doesn't work.
Well,
because you're not going to ever defund LSU football, or you're never going to cut back on LSU football.
They have to figure out where the money comes from. That's not my job, but I'm telling, and that's not Jay's problem either. If other universities are able to do it,
you're not going to defund LSU men's basketball. And if you try to take money out of Kim Mulkey's hands, good luck with that. She'll slice your tires.
But Jay,
so I mean, like, you're fourth on that list.
Jay should absolutely, though, be listening and taking offers to hold LSU's feet to the fire, whether that's publicly or behind closed doors. Doesn't matter. LSU better have itself ready to go to find a way to pay them, or they're going to lose their two-time national championship head coach.
Last week when they played Tennessee, he got asked about Tony Vitello making the jump to the big leagues, the San Francisco Giants. And Jay didn't rule out that he wouldn't be interested in coaching in the MLB one day.
Oh, he said not right now, but that's right now.
Not right now. I'm not leaving. But he threw that little nugget out there like, if that opportunity came one day, I'd be stupid not to look. Just like, and Vitello was making $3 million in Tennessee. He's making $3.5 million with the Giants. And he's got an 8-year deal with the Giants. So he got almost $30 million coming if things don't work out. So Jay Johnson he made that clear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I'm not doing an interview next month. But he kind of left that little bitty crack in the door that, goes to what you said. If all of a sudden A&M or Starkville or Gainesville or somebody said, by the way, Jay, what you just said, Ronnie, we got it covered.
It's once again a situation that we've talked about multiple times where the genie is out of the bottle. There's not enough money to be dished around here for all these, especially at LSU, where really the case, in this case, where LSU has so much success, it sucks because there are so many arguments to be made for why different programs deserve the fund and feel like they are deserving of the money because of the fact that they're competing for national championships or winning national championships and are going to be left behind because of the fact that they're not meeting those expectations financially. So I don't know what the solution is. I don't think either one of us can come up with something, but you're going to lose your head coach if you don't find a way to fund the program like these other SEC teams are doing.
And there's been a lot of things on social media about if every LSU fan gave $10 a month, all of a sudden there's $40 million, okay? Well, not every LSU fan is going to do that. Some might, some will.
There have been a lot.
Some will give more than $10 a month. But they put their position, just like they were selling them little miniature replicas of the Intimidator, before the season that showed if you made this donation, we're going to marry you this
$25 a win.
This $8 trinket looking thing that looks like the Intimidator in right field. But all schools are doing that kind of stuff. Anything they can do to get a couple of more dollars in the house, especially in your not football or men's basketball, women's basketball sports, they're doing it.
It's so oogie.
It is, but if you don't embrace it,
I get it.
You're going to be
in
15th place. Listen, like men's basketball
I have
was.
had this conversation with former LSU baseball teammates of mine, and it's obviously any athlete at any level. I mean, you look at Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, right? Who are they didn't get they didn't get paid like this when they played, and so it's hard to tell a former player who had success, who won national championships. You talk about Flynn and Hester, they won national championships. Teams LSU's had 6 national championships before the NIL era in baseball, right? It's hard to tell those players who never got anything. Hey man, we got to pay these guys $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000. What you want, but I say this to my former teammates and any alumni at LSU, and you don't have to be an athlete to have this conversation. Here's the point that I make. Is it important to you for LSU to be good in XYZ sport, whether it's all sports or your sport, right? Some people only care about football. They could care less if LSU ever wins a game in anything else. There's certain people that want LSU to be great in everything. There's certain what their sport. I'm a women's basketball fan. Don't care about anything else. Whatever it is that's important to you. Does it matter to you if they win or lose? Okay, well, how much does it matter? Does it matter $1 a year? Does it matter $5 a year? Does it matter $100 a year? If you had to give money to guarantee that LSU baseball was going to be fan, what is that number? Give it. $72.50? Give it. Because my point is that if you don't, you're going to sit here and you're going to watch LSU become South Carolina.
Welcome to the pay.
South Carolina won back-to-back national championships in 10 and 11. Did you ever dream 15 years later that South Carolina would be so bad over the last few years?
We are in the pay-to-win era of collegiate sports, and I'm not sure that era is ever going to end. This is the new college spectrum. I mean, like, this is where collegiate athletics are now. You have to pay to win national championship. It's no longer who's the best recruiter and who has the best opportunities and which schedule lines up the best and whatever it used to be 15 years ago where South Carolina had to say. It's not like that in any sport for college right now. It is strictly who's got enough money to pay the best players and the best in the sport to come play for your team to win a national championship, especially in the SEC. Where we're like we were just talking about baseball an hour ago about how the consistency between all these players that are playing for LSU, playing for Mississippi State, playing for Texas A&M, they are all capable of winning championships. The problem is they are now every best player in the country is playing in the SEC where the money is. It's no longer where you're going to find these guys playing in these small schools because it was the best opportunity for them. It was close to home. They're following the money, and this is where the money is. And now your opportunities are limited because it's the best. On one week, LSU is going to look like a national championship team. The following week, they're going to look like a South Carolina that can't figure it out at the bottom of the SEC league. It is because of the fact that there is that good of players across the diamond from you because they're coming from all around the country to play in this conference. You better have the money to make sure they're playing for your team.
He's Hunter McCann. I'm Ronnie Rance, Tommy Chrysan. We're over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons. And Before we take a break, let's tell you about riveroflifecapsules.com, especially with the Masters going on. A lot of folks out there playing golf. Maybe some folks are kind of overdoing it a little bit. And you feel achy, you feel a little pain, you get a little back pain, you get a little knee pain, hip pain, whatever. Go to riveroflifecapsules.com. It's all natural supplements that, ingredients in there that actually have positive side effects. So if you're taking over-the-counter medications, stop doing that. Switch to River of Life capsules. If you're taking it for inflammation or for pain, go to riveroflifecapsules.com and order a bottle today. Give it a try. Less than $40. I know some people take it on just preemptively, like one a day or two a day. They don't wait till they're having discomfort or pain. They'll just kind of take one a day or two a day. I know TK does that with his knees and stuff. Hunter oftentimes. Derry Beckwith during football season will take it when he's working the sidelines and everything because he's got former knee surgeries and all back in the day. It helps with inflammation and achy joints. riveroflifecapsules.com. Give it a try. It works. riveroflifecapsules.com. We'll take a time out when we come back over here at the Bruley Walk-Ons. We'll talk to Chris Burkstaller, the pro at the Island Golf and Country Club. We're going to talk to Chris about the Masters, get his take on Patrick Reed and Sam Burns and what Rory McIlroy's doing, which has never been done before, leading by 6 strokes after. And we'll also tell you about the Rougarou Celebrity Golf Classic, going to be there May 18th at the Island Golf and Country Club as well. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts right here on ESPN Radio will continue after this.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
Continue with Sports Shorts Radio here from the Bruley Walk-Ons. It's a beautiful day. Got a lot of beautiful people in here getting lunch, watching the Masters, watching college baseball. They got a football game on. I guess that's the UFL game going on. A lot of good people in here getting plenty of food. A couple of guys at the bar with a cold beer. At the Bruley Walk-Ons. You need to check them out today. Next week, we'll be at Mr. Carter's Barbershop in Prairieville. Hopefully, you can join us next Saturday for that. Got Ronnie Rance coming back, and we're going to go live and direct to the Island Golf Course, one of my favorite courses in the world, right down the road in Plaquemine, Louisiana. And Ronnie will talk to Chris Burkstaller. Ronnie, go ahead and take it away with Chris.
What's going on, Chris? How's it going, buddy?
What's up, gentlemen? Y'all doing all right today?
Doing great.
Beautiful
great.
day.
Let's talk a little Masters with a guy who knows more about golf than the three of us to get at this table. First off, have you been to the Masters before, Chris?
We were actually there Monday.
Awesome.
I was lucky enough to get a ticket for my wife this year, and we went on Monday for the practice round.
Did we?
I've been 3 times. It's pretty awesome.
Did we see Buzzy Heidel on 10 working the ropes?
We did not. I was searching for him. I forgot to text him and ask him where he was.
Yeah.
Obviously, no phone.
Yeah.
When I thought about it, it was too late. So I never did see him and his dad, but I knew they make that an annual thing, and it's pretty awesome to spend that with your father, and then they get to go back and play, which is even better, I think.
Yeah. Buzzy's on 10, and then Mike Hollander's he works 1. So for someone who's never been to the Masters, Chris, describe what it's like.
Oh, I mean, speaking from a golfer standpoint, I mean, it's the ultimate. But the cool thing is my wife's been twice with me, and she's not a golfer, and she wants to go every year because of the beauty and just the feel when you get out there. I mean, everything's perfect. Obviously, the grass is perfect. The golf course is perfect. There's not a stitch of grass out of place. The mood of the patrons is everybody's on cloud 9 to be there. It's just, I mean, I would tell anybody that's not even a golfer, if you could ever get a chance to go once.
By the way, do we go pimento cheese, chicken salad, egg salad? What's your go-to?
I like the barbecue.
Okay. Oh yeah, the chip beef. Yeah.
We did the pimento. So we didn't eat that much. Not in the past. We were saving our money for the merchandise shop, and went pretty overboard on that. So
yeah. Well, the good news is that you don't have to have a lot of money to buy the food.
Yeah,
they
that's
still
true.
keep the price thing like $1.50 or $2 a sandwich.
And
like
I
that.
heard that you have to tell me, Chris. Obviously, I've never been either, but I've heard the trick is taking that barbecue and pimento cheese and putting them together, and it's
really?
out of this world.
Oh wow.
yeah, I didn't. I kind of forgot about that. But they also say the chicken sandwich in the pimento combo is pretty good too. But
Okay.
we just kind of went basic and did one of each, and it was great, man. It's such a great trip to take, and I love going.
Ronnie, give him the question about the 18.
Yes.
So, Chris, I know you've probably seen this on social media, but if you're on an average golfer, which, I think an average golfer, and you've seen it all, whether it's a public course and you see the worst golfers ever, or a private course and you see some of the best and whatever, the average golfer is probably an 18 handicap. Is that your thought?
That is the national average, 19, and I think it's dropped 1 stroke in the last 20 years.
Okay. So 18, 19 is the average. If you take an average golfer, you put him on 18 with a 6 playing against Rory and Scheffler, can he finish that 18th hole at Augusta and win the tournament if you drop him in there on Sunday with 10,000 people on that hole?
I don't know, man. I mean, 6 shots is a lot, but that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I think walking out there, he tightened up pretty good. I mean, I know that I've been under the gun in a few tournament situations, and it gets really hard to even pull the club back. So, I mean, 6 shots may not be enough, especially for an 18 or 19 handicap. I see a 10 plus on the scorecard on 18 for sure.
The Masters right now, how exciting, right? We got Sam Burns, we got Patrick Reed, they're both -6, tied, 2 Louisiana golfers. What's your personal history, relationship, whatever, with those 2 golfers?
Not too much. I remember sitting with Mike Johnson at the LSU golf course many, many, many years ago, and Patrick was out hitting balls, and I was like, man, who's that kid? He looks like he's making a pretty good move. And Mike Johnson told me, man, he's already getting stuff from Nike, and they say he's going to be on tour one day. And I was like, oh yeah, how can you tell that? The kid was like, he's like 15 or 16, and I mean, sure enough, look where he is. I mean, the guy's doing okay. The thing about it is, I mean, Rory being a front runner now with such a big lead, but I mean, it's 36 holes at Augusta. There's a lot of golf left.
All right, so Rory McIlroy, what we're seeing him do, by the way, we're visiting with Chris Burkstaller, the pro at the Island Golf and Country Club in Plaquemine. What Rory McIlroy is doing, I feels like, okay, look, he had all that pressure. He finally won the Masters. He completed the career slam, and now he's just able to play carefree. And we're seeing him play some of the best golf of his life. He's got a 6-stroke lead after 2 rounds. That's never been done before, even with Tiger at the Masters. Think there's any chance he bobbles this lead?
I mean, I don't think it would happen, but Ronnie, like I said, 36 holes at Augusta is. I mean, there's big numbers lurking around every corner. I mean, I think he's a lot safer with the benign conditions that they have right now. I mean, us there Monday and driving back, I mean, the wind was blowing, and on the road, and I don't know where all that wind went, but I mean, the golf course, the greens look soft. I'm sure they put a little water on them because they looked brown on Monday already. I think they were a little drier than they expected. I mean, you're seeing golf shots hit and stop. And I mean, if these guys can control their golf ball and hit it where they want and stop it where they want, I mean, I don't know if he's going to relinquish that lead. But again, there's so many big numbers everywhere on that golf course. I mean, 12, you can watch guys make triple or quads. I mean, there's a lot of places that you can screw up. But I mean, he's got a big lead, and he just looks like he's as relaxed as I've ever seen him. I mean, normally he drives the ball great, and his short game is not so hot. I mean, now his short game is incredible. I mean, he's missing fairways. I thought I heard a stat. He did not hit a par 5 fairway yesterday at all.
Nope.
I think he might have birdied 3 of the 4. I don't remember exactly, but
he missed every fairway.
He's not even driving the ball well, and he's got a 6-shot lead. So I don't know, man. It's just somebody is probably going to have to come get him. I mean, I would have to think somebody's going to have to go low the next 2 days. I don't think he'll shoot. I don't think he'll shoot 74 the next 2 days. So I think somebody's going to have to go out and tear it up for a couple rounds to catch him, really.
On Thursday, yeah, he missed every fairway on the first 9. He missed every fairway and still found himself at 5 under for the day. And he shot 7 under yesterday, where he was still not consistently hitting fairways. I mean, but he finds his second shots have been unbelievable to put himself in good situations.
Well, what's funny about that is that is the old Arnold Palmer way of playing golf, right? Arnold Palmer was the best at, hitting out of the woods or in rough or whatever, and he's doing the same thing. We're visiting with Chris Burkstaller from the Island Golf and Country Club. Chris, I want to, by the way, you got to bet $300 on Rory to win 100. That's where he stands right now. So y'all decide if he's worth it. As far as Tiger Woods, with Tiger Mickelson, neither one of them are at the Masters for the first time since '94. Obviously, their presence is missed. In Tiger Woods' case, do you think you ever see him play golf professionally again?
I mean, I would think he'll play professionally because he's just got that fire to compete, but I just don't see him competing. Certainly not on a PGA Tour level. I mean, if he swallows his pride and starts playing the senior tour in a couple of years, maybe. But I mean, I just, the injuries are just too hard to overcome, I think. I mean, watching him walk at the indoor thing that he sponsors. Yeah. I mean, he just looks like he can hardly move. It was funny. I was telling my wife, BJ Singh's out there playing in Hokas, and he looks like he's been hit by a car. your body is just breaking down. He's adding to the problems by having car wrecks and things like that. I mean, it's just those guys are so good. I just don't see him being able to compete. But I mean, when he won Augusta, his last time, I never thought he had a chance. So he's superhuman. I just don't see how he's that superhuman.
Yeah.
Chris, tell us a little bit about the island, man. Looking forward to May 18th, the Baton Rouge Rougarou Celebrity Golf Classic out there at the island. Course is in great shape. Today's a perfect day for golf for folks that want to play. Tell us a little bit about the island golf course.
Absolutely, man. We're killing it. I mean, yesterday we did 175 rounds.
Wow.
The golf course, everybody's got the bug, and with the Masters going, the golf course is in great shape. We're having a great time. I mean, people are still finding us. I think the last time I was on the radio, we're still talking to people when they come through the shop, and they're like, "Oh, we've never played here." And I'm like, golly, we've been open since '99, and people are still finding us. So it's great to see that, and it's great the golf course is in such good shape, and we just love seeing people come out for the first time and experience it. We love it, and we just would love to see everybody come out and try it out.
Yeah, especially for folks listening over in Lake Charles and Lafayette. If you're driving into Baton Rouge, you just take Highway 1 South right at the base of the Mississippi River Bridge, getting into Baton Rouge, and you're 15 minutes from the interstate, and you're at the island on the right-hand side, right before you get into Plaquemine. So easy on, easy off from the I-10 wherever you are in the state of Louisiana. All right, Chris, thank you so much, buddy, for coming and joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
You guys have a great day.
All right, there's Chris Burkstaller, who gets a little insight on the Masters. Tommy, real quick, who do you think takes it home? Is Rory going to finish it?
McIlroy gets the green jacket again. Right? The chairman will put it on him.
Give me Patrick Reed. I think
okay.
I'm going to take Patrick Reed's experience to come back and win this thing.
All right, well, I think Rory does it. Matter of fact, I think he does it. I'm almost so confident. I'm contemplating
Don't do
minus
it.
300.
Actually, do it, because that means we're going to have a competitive Sunday.
Minus 300. I'm contemplating it. All right. Want a professional thanks to all of our guests, Joel Davis, also a special sponsor, River of Life Capsules, but also Bruley Walk-Ons. Check it out. The best fried shrimp in the land, the Bruley Walk-Ons. We'll see you next Saturday, everybody, for more sports shorts. Have a great week.
South Louisiana.